anyway?
My name is Alice.
And I am Tweedledum.
Hi, Tweedledum.
I thought I was Tweedledum. Who am I?
I thought I was Tweedledum. Who am I? You were Tweedledum, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
The silliness bothered the Mad Hatter quite a bit. He was impatient by nature.
Will you both be quiet?
Oh, so sorry.
Oh, so sorry.
The Dormouse looked over the group and could not quite understand how they all came together. But he was late for a very important date and he could not stay and talk to them.
I'm late for a very important date with the Queen.
The Cheshire Cat and the Mad Hatter both looked surprised. They had completely forgotten the Queen's garden party.
Yes, the Queen is expecting me too. Mustn't keep her waiting.
They were all quite aware of the Queen's bad temper, so they looked worriedly at each other. They knew that the Queen would not be happy if they were all late. The Cheshire Cat also realized that the Queen would be very interested in Alice.
Little girl, would you like to meet the Queen?
Of course, Alice had never met a queen and thought it would be very exciting.
Queen? I've never met a real queen before.
The Dormouse was not pleased with the invitation because he was sure that the little girl would get on the wrong side of the bad-tempered Queen. She wrung her hands worriedly. Is that wise?
Dear me, is that wise?
That would be interesting, very interesting indeed.
That would be interesting, very interesting.
Although the Dormouse was concerned, the Cheshire Cat and the Mad Hatter were unconcerned. They thought it might be fun to shake things up. Fun for them, that is. Not fun for Alice. So the twins interrupted the proceedings.
Little girl, the little Queen is there. Fair than fun indeed.
But Alice was not to be persuaded. She had never met a real-life queen and thought that meeting the Queen could be the highlight of her trip to Wonderland.
Oh, please, can we go see the Queen?
And the Cheshire Cat responded.
We can go right now.
He opened a door in a nearby toadstool and said,
After you.
As soon as he stepped out of the toadstool, the White Rabbit hurried into view. Alice and all the others gasped in surprise.
Oh my, there's the White Rabbit.
The Mad Hatter looked at her annoyed.
Well, of course there is. He's about to announce the Queen. Why? The Queen of Hearts has the doctor in the park.
The Queen of Hearts entered looking very haughty and regal. She looked around with an unpleasant look on her face, which became more unpleasant when she spied Alice.
Who is this?
She yelled in a powerful voice. Alice curtsied and politely replied.
My name is Alice. I'm afraid I've been lost, and I'm looking for the White Rabbit.
The Queen's guard jumped at Alice and said,
Should I cut off her head? Be quiet. I'm talking to this silly girl. How can I do that if you don't cut off her head? She can.
The poor guard looked upset and said, Of course you can't. For now I want this girl to be my friend.
For now, I want to go to
Lovely.
Been away for a while now. Got me feeling like a child now. 'Cause every time I see your bubbly face, I get the tingles in a silly place that starts to my toes and crinkle my nose. Wherever it goes, I always know. And even if you smile, please stay for a while now. Just take your time, wherever you go. Do you know how to play croquet? Yep, yes I do, but I'm afraid I'm not very good.
Of course, the Queen was delighted that Alice could not play very well, because the Queen wanted to win every game. But Alice began to play very well. Meanwhile, her new friends were growing nervous as the Queen lost.
Oh, little girl, you mustn't beat the Queen.
I think I will be cutting off her head soon. Oh dear, this is not good at all.
Oh dear, this is not good at all.
The Queen was jealous and began to glare at Alice.
You were quite good, but I am better. But it's just a game.
Of course, this was the wrong thing to say to the Queen, because she took her game of croquet very seriously. The Queen became ever
How dare you!
The queen redoubled her efforts and began to gain points against Alice.
I told you that I bet.
And her subjects responded,
My queen heard the bet.
yes, this is just delightful.
This is just delightful. Very, very interesting.
But the Cheshire Cat decided to make things a bit more interesting, so he snuck up on the queen and tripped her royal majesty. Enraged and embarrassed, the queen blamed Alice.
It was you who tricked me. Guard! Open her head!
Finally! There was a mad chase. The guard and the queen chased Alice. Alice ran away, but was helped by her surprising new friend. Great escape.
Forget yesterday. We'll make the great escape. Won't hear a word they say. They don't know us anyway. Let it burn, let it die. We are hardly free tonight.
Get back here, little girl.
Get back here, little girl.
Alice shouted to Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
How do I get out of here?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Alice shouted to... Oh, Tweedledum looked at his brother and asked, do I know anything?
Why not?
The queen wanted that little girl because she did not like being humiliated.
I want her now.
I'm trying, Your Majesty. They all ran around and around. The guard and the queen could not capture Alice, and Alice and her friends could not get far away. Suddenly, the Cheshire Cat jumped and tripped Alice, who fell down in heat, and one by one, everyone followed her. They all looked around at each other, and then the mischievous cat laughed.
Ha ha ha. Ow, what happened?
The Cheshire Cat was a very smart cat. However, because he knew that the queen enjoyed two things, croquet and making fun of other people.
Ha ha ha! You're very funny, little girl, when you fell.
Yes, very funny.
Yes, very funny indeed.
The others joined in with the queen and laughed at Alice. Little girl, you are quite clumsy.
Little girl, you're quite clumsy. Quite clumsy. She is such a silly girl.
But Tweedledee and Tweedledum did not want Alice's feelings getting hurt, and they did not understand that the others mocked Alice just to save her head.
Stop, stop, stop.
She is our friend, you must be nicer.
This is our friend, you must be nicer.
Alice was touched by their kindness. Their kindness made her miss her sister, and she began to cry just a little. Now what's all the fuss?
What now, what's all the fuss? Our little sister's crying.
But the queen did not like her crying and shouted out,
Whatever is the matter with her? Make her stop!
what is the matter, little girl? Alice quietly replied.
Just want to go home.
Suddenly, the Cheshire Cat appeared in front of her. Alice looked up at him and said,
I just want to go home. Now, how do I get there?
SOS.
This is an SOS. Don't want a second guess. This is the bottom line. It's true. I give my all for you. Now my heart's in two, and I can't find the other half. It's like I'm walking on broken glass. Better believe I bled. It's a call I'll never get.
The Cheshire Cat felt bad for Alice. He explained.
All you have to do is fall asleep, and then you wake up and go home.
She looked at her new friends and said,
Thank you all. You've been wonderful.
she hugged each of them. Tweedledee and Tweedledum sniffed and said together, goodbye, you've been delightful company.
It's been ever so long since we had a little girl in Wonderland. We'll come back soon.
She curled up and fell asleep with her friends watching over her. Suddenly, Alice awoke on the riverbank. She heard Sarah say,
Wake up, Alice, dear. You've been sleeping a long time.
Alice, still a little sleepy, said.
I've been asleep, but my dream seems so real.
Alice looked around but did not see any strange talking creatures. All she saw was her sister in the old history book.
off